All right, welcome today to the Better Business Bureau vlog, Building Better Business. I'm super excited to have Jennifer from Title Barbershop joining us today. Hello, Jennifer.
Hi, Paula. Thank you for having me. How are you?
Oh, I'm so excited to have you.
I'm so excited to be here.
It's funny because I came about Titletown as a customer of yours when you first opened in my hometown of Natick, Massachusetts. I walked by and I said, "This place is amazing." Brought my son in, got to meet the co-owner, your husband, Josh, who was so welcoming, and it just really. Then I was blessed enough to have you guys apply for BBB membership, and now we work together. So it's just so exciting to me that things come full circle, right?
Yeah.
And to have you on it is great. So thank you for taking the time. I know as an entrepreneur, it is extremely you're busy all the time. So thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So why don't we start by telling the viewers a little bit about yourself and about Titletown Barbershop?
Yeah, of course. So, like I said, thank you so much for having me. I'm so
Yeah,
excited to be here.
yeah.
So Title Town, actually, we just are changing. Well, actually, we just changed the name
Oh,
a few months ago. So now it's Title City Barbers.
okay.
So I think, if some people are still Title Town, Title City, we are one same company.
Okay.
We're actually a family-owned business. So it's my husband, Josh, my father-in-law, and my sister-in-law, and myself. We all work together. We opened up a our first barbershop in 2016 at Natick Center, like you said,
Yeah.
with my husband Josh being the barber. He's been barbering since probably like in his teens, so it's been
Wow.
over 15 years he's been doing the barbering. We opened that one. That location was currently, at that time, was a barbershop, but I guess it was two chairs. The owner at that time was ready to retire. So
Hmm.
they told us about it, and we're just kind of like, oh, okay, like, all right, let's give it a try.
Right, right.
We currently have four barbershops till this day, um, with Natick Center being the first one in 2016. Natick Mall was 2018.
Wow.
Newton, we opened up in December of last year, 2019. And then we just currently opened during this whole season, 2020, we opened our fourth location.
Wow. Tell me a little bit about what goes into that. Like, how do you choose geographically? Obviously you wanted to keep within Massachusetts
Mhm.
for now, right?
Yeah.
So tell me, how do you just like kind of point to Natick obviously approached you with the gentleman retiring, but how did you decide on the other locations and where to expand and what was the right time to expand? How does that transpire?
So honestly, like, for the first location, it was more easier, like we kind of had the opportunity to do it. I know that was my husband's dream to open up, a shop. And I honestly, well, have a background in cosmetology as well. I don't practice, but same thing. It's, I've always had that little passion that I'm like, I like doing hair and everything. So I
Yeah,
was like, hey, why not? Like, let's go for it.
right.
So we wanted to stay local. We do live locally, so we wanted
Mhm.
to stay within the area. And then after that, we just kind of, once the first one picked up, we are like, all right, let's shoot for another one. Let's see. And we actually we browsed around, nothing really came up. And then all of a sudden we're like, how about the Natick Mall? We both grew up. That was our mall growing up. That was
Mine
like our
too.
hey. What was that?
Mine too. And
Yeah.
we still call it the Natick Mall. It changed to Natick. I forget even what
It
it
was
was
like
called.
Natick Collection, and
Yeah, and
now I
then
think it's Natick Mall, or yeah. But it's always
so
Natick Mall for us.
yeah, yeah.
At some point in our lives, we both worked at the Natick Mall, so
Mhm.
it was just we just kind of connected with somebody at the mall. We're kind of like, hey, this is what we're thinking. This is, we presented what Title Town at the time was. They
Mhm.
loved it, and we just went for it. We're kind of like, all right. And then after there, we're just kind of like, we've seen the growth, we've seen the, the need for in the community, that we're just kind of like, all right, I think, we should open up more into the cities,
Right.
and that's when we started looking more into like closer to Boston area,
Mhm.
and we just started. That's where Newton came along, and then eventually Brookline. It's more on just kind of like seeing the area and seeing the community around.
Right.
We'll
Yeah,
just kind of go
that
from
makes
there.
sense. Go with your gut, right?
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
that's awesome. So tell me a little bit, how has COVID-19 impacted a small business like yours, if at all? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So we actually we ended up closing it was March 17th when we closed.
Okay.
We honestly we thought it was just gonna be the 2 weeks, and that's it. We're like, oh, 2 weeks, okay, nice little, relaxation time.
Yeah.
But honestly, that was like when we were working like our heads off, like trying to figure
Mhm.
out, because from the 2 weeks it expanded to 2 months, and those 2 months we were just busy every day, making phone calls, calling the barbers, making sure that they're fine, making sure
Right.
that their families are fine, making sure, we would wake up every morning like in those 2 months and just hit, the stores looking for like gloves, hand sanitizers, Lysol spray, mask,
Mhm.
capes. We invested so much in like PPP gear for both,
Mhm.
the barbers and the clients as well, just to be ready. Once we got the green light,
Mhm.
we're all set. It just made it really challenging, just because it was, for small business, it's kind of like you go into BJ's and you're limited to, one hand sanitizer, and we have 4 shops, with
Right.
18 barbers right now. So it's kind of like, oh, what, it was just it was hard trying to get all those things, but we wanted to make sure that, once we were ready to open, we were prepared.
Mm. Right.
Oh, that was a big challenge. Now, thank God we're 90% back to what we were before,
Okay.
pre-COVID, which is great.
Right.
It does make it hard sometimes to like, um, with limited supplies of things. Sometimes I'll go to the store and I'm like, all right, I have to go get gloves. But it's like,
Mhm.
all right, there's only small gloves. These barbers have large hands, so it's like
Right.
they won't
Right.
fit into it.
And things you
So
don't think about, as a customer walking in, that you're running probably back and forth to BJ's because they are limiting to you. And then
yeah,
sizing, I would never have even thought that. The stress of, they can't slide their hands into a size small glove. It's going to just snap,
yeah.
and then you're out. And that's all money that's going out the window. It all adds up. So thank you for being real. And that is a good
we
reminder.
we just want to make sure that, especially because we have kids ourselves, we
Mhm.
know the barbers have families, they have kids and everything, so we want to make sure we can provide for them, that they're going to be safe. We want to provide for customers that when they come into the shop, they're going to feel safe.
Right.
We're all in this together, so it's kind of like, if I have to make 5 different BJ's runs, like I'm going to
Mhm.
go do that, just to make sure that, we're doing our part, to keep everyone safe.
Good. Thank you. We appreciate that. I had a question for you. So I noticed in back when I started coming as a customer with my son that there were, and I found this very interesting, especially for being a Natick townie. No other business in Natick that I had ever known had done this, which was you were strictly online making appointments. What
Yeah.
led you to go that route? I think of you and Josh as leaders in this because really no other small business was doing it. Where you're like, oh, no phone calls; it's strictly online. Book your reservation.
Yes. So, we're like I said, so we have 3 boys,
Mhm.
and it's luckily Josh cuts their hair, but it's like I see it like I'm like, I don't want to be that mom where I go into a shop and I have to, take the 3 boys, wait there for who knows how long before I get
Mhm.
an appointment when they
Mhm.
have soccer, at 1 p.m.
Right.
I want to be in and out.
Right.
Same thing if you're a business person, like,
Mhm.
you have a tight agenda that you have to
Mhm.
follow. And it's like the last thing you want to do is go sit a Saturday morning or, during your lunch break, and who knows if you can get,
Get in.
haircut in,
Right. Yeah, yeah.
So we do is, online appointments where you can, like you said, you go online, you book your appointment for 1 p.m. You know what service, what barber you're going to get. You're going to be
Right.
in that chair. You're going to get your haircut, your hot towel shave, whatever service you picked, and you're going to be out by 1:30 or
Right. Right.
so. That's
So
really what we wanted to do.
was it difficult for you to choose on which online, as a small business launching, which online platform you were going to use to book the appointments?
So yeah, I mean, we started off with a couple. We tried out a couple,
Mhm.
in the beginning, and it was just kind of like some things were better than others. And then eventually the platform that we're using now is one that it's strictly for barbershops.
Okay.
So it's perfect. Because I'm able to do like inventory in now. I'm able to do, the online appointments. People can also prepay once they book online. This
Mhm.
way, you don't even have to check out. Just check out
Right.
with the barber. Hey, listen, am I all set? You're good to go. You're in
Literally
and out.
contactless. And right now people are talking about contactless pickup for food, etc. But really it's like that at the barbershop too. Unless you're getting your hair done, you don't interact or engage with many people.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
you're not pulling out your credit card or cash, etc.
Yeah.
That's great. So I have to bring this up. Your Instagram page and the social media job that as a CMO of a company, you guys are killing it. And you have been for years, starting with, aligning yourself. And I'm not saying it comes easy. I know you have a lot of hard work went into this, but aligning yourself with influencers. I know just the buzz around Natick was like, wow, there's Celtics players that go there. Like, if you go, maybe you could, run into one. Do you want to tell me first, where can people check you guys out? And then second, what drove you for your social media strategy, if there was one?
Yeah, of course. So you can definitely check us out at Title City. Actually, no, Title dot City Barbers. I got to double check on that one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like I said, we
and
just
we'll link it too. So.
all right, perfect. Yeah, because like I said, we just changed it from Title Town to Title
Right.
City. So
Gotcha.
I know there is a dot somewhere in there. I just got to double check on that.
Okay.
So like I said, my husband has been cutting for over 15 years.
Right.
He actually started cutting one of the Celtics players through connections.
Mhm.
I believe it was Nate Robinson. He was playing back in 2000. I'm trying to say 2008. Don't quote me on that.
And you know I'm
Um,
gonna get in trouble for this because he's gonna be like, "Why are you throwing out years and you're aging me?" Like,
yeah.
you're always 25 in her heart.
So he like I said, he started cutting him, and it was just more just kind of like connections, and a lot of networking. And one led to the other. Like I said, right now he's been doing he's been doing a lot of the Celtics players as well, a lot of like the Revolutions. If you come
Mhm.
into the shops, you can see we kind of set up like the pictures,
Right.
the sports players as and also, them getting a haircut. Just
Right.
when people come, they don't think it's just like random pictures that we just put.
Right.
It's they actually come into the shop, which is great because I always tell, the barbers and everything, hey, listen, like these athletes, like they can actually get haircuts at their home. They
Right.
prefer to come into the shops because they like the feel. They like, having a chit chat with the barbers, or they like, just having that whole barbershop experience. Um,
I can
so
attest to that
that's
because I swear you guys spray something in there. Every time I walk in, I get hit with it. What is that
it's
smell?
and it's so funny because it's like I'm there all the time. So it's like I
Right.
can't even smell it. And everyone that walks in, oh my God, it smells so good in here. And I'm like,
You should
is it
jar
me?
that. You got to jar that into a candle. Title
I know,
City
yeah,
candle.
I know. Yeah. I
Yeah.
just have to figure out the smell
Oh,
exactly.
so
Like I
good.
said, everyone, especially in the mall, like the doors are open, so they'll come in. They're like, it smells so good. I'm like, so I honestly I can't even smell anymore. I'm so used to it. But I'm
Yeah.
glad it smells good for you.
Yeah. For social media, do you have a company or do you guys rely on each other to do that? How does that work?
Yeah, so we rely on each other. We do have, like I said, we are a family business.
Mhm,
We do have my sister-in-law, Stephanie. She's really in charge of like the whole like marketing, like Instagram of it.
mhm.
Like I said, I'm not really like tech savvy, so I have mine as well. And I just kind of like, do my posts here and there or do like videos.
Mhm,
But that is something I do want to eventually pick up a little bit more. But
mhm.
she's really in charge of that.
That's great.
Um, we all the barbers as well, they all have their Instagram where
Mhm.
it's kind of like a portfolio for them,
Right.
because I often get people asking me, oh, who's the best barber? And I'm like, honestly, they're all great.
They're
Like, I
all
don't,
great.
yeah. So what I do, I'm like, just go on their Instagram. They all have, their haircuts or work on there.
Mhm.
And then I just kind of let them decide, you
That's
know?
great. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's wonderful. I like that. And it's what a great answer. It's politically correct, but also accurate. What haven't we covered that you'd like to share, knowing that business owners, entrepreneurs, customers are all watching this? Is there anything that we haven't covered that you would say, oh gosh, I wish Paula asked me that, or I wish I touched upon anything that we,
um, no,
I
I think,
know.
just, I know one of the things too, what I do recommend, um, for everyone just to kind of do is just kind of have like especially now with this whole COVID, it's really unknown on what's
Mhm.
happening, what's going to happen. What we learned a lot was just kind of have like a little safety net just in case, if who knows, whatever happens, at
Mhm.
least just be prepared,
Yeah.
have, as a business, as personally, just have like a little safety net,
Right.
just
Right.
in case. Yeah.
And start stocking up, right?
Yeah, yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, get all the
Get
family,
that.
we'll do a line of your family members trying to go in whatever time grabbing. I got you, girl. If you need
Yeah.
someone to go make some
Awesome. Thank
product,
you.
I'll get right in line. Well, thank you so much for your time. I
No
really
problem. Thank you.
appreciate it. It's always a pleasure chatting with you. I try not to take up too much time when I'm in actually Title City, but it's great catching up like this.
Yeah,
And
perfect.
we're
Awesome.
going to, what website if people would like to schedule a hair appointment?
Yep. So go to TitleCityBarbers.com.
Perfect. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
All right,
Have
no
a good
problem,
day
Paula.
and happy holidays.
You too, Paula. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.